is they see him go Super Saiyan, like, I can diff anybody who comes across me.
Like, no cap. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I was trying to practice my ki when I was a little kid.
Bro, literally. Oh my god.
I was trying to, like, if I just use my power, I can levitate.
Oh my god.
I was trying to practice my ki as a
what
kid,
is that
bro.
YouTube clip of like the dude? He's just like screaming for fucking 30 minutes.
So first of all, welcome everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Wolfie, Ego, thank you guys for joining me on this podcast. I'm super excited about this. Everyone in chat, thank you guys. We are going to be doing this every Thursday around like 6 Central, just 6, 7 Eastern. And then I'll be putting it on YouTube every Friday as well. So Friday morning, we'll be having a podcast for you guys on YouTube. But yeah, very first episode. So before we get into the actual meat of the podcast, I just wanted to go around and kind of introduce ourselves for people who don't know us, especially for the YouTube. Anybody on the YouTube that doesn't know us, I know Ego isn't really big on the YouTube. We'll be starting to get in there, but the majority, a lot of people are on the on Twitch. But my name's Cordy. I'm your co-host. I got Ego with me.
Yo, boys.
And
gentlemen.
Of course, we got Wolfie.
Yo.
But you're going to be, so for the talking points of this podcast, and we can definitely go off the rail, but mainly I just kind of want to do an intro podcast, like who we are, what do we do, how do we come up with the podcast name, and then of course we're gonna go over the patch, the Paragon patch, which is actually pretty lucky. I was planning on the podcast being on the 19th, and they so happened to have the patch on the 19th. I thought it was gonna be like a little bit sooner, and then we could have some time to go over it, but now we're actually be able to go over it now and have a little bit of playing on it. But yeah, before we get into that, let's go over the podcast name. Let's talk about the podcast name. How do we come up with the Outplayed? There's no title on it on this overlay, but we have one. How did we come up with the Outplayed name?
Oh man. Well, like many great minds, it came to us in a moment of hesitancy and peace. Truly a saucy name.
We were like spam. I was spamming a lot because I was at work. I work by myself, so I was just like thinking of podcast names and just like blowing up the DMs with random names.
Yeah, I was just kind of. I figured since like we all met on Overprime, I was like, let's think of it's going to be a mainly Overprime podcast. Yeah. We'll think of some way to integrate that into it. But then again, at the same time, if Overprime is like maybe dead because there's no patches, we have to come up with something that's not just only Overprime. So maybe something for all three of us. So I was like combining all of our names together to try and find some like one way to combine all three. I couldn't figure it out. There was Wardy, yeah, or something like that, or Wardgo, or something. It was insane. So, Ego's the one who takes the cake.
Yeah.
I low key, I was like Cordy, like you, dude. I was just at work. We were brewing and we were cooking. I was like looking at all of your names, and this is like when I was in the middle of my Morgesh arc of like 103 consecutive Morgesh games to get this fucking skin. And I remember like every time like I played with like Wolfie and stuff, I was thinking about how I like inherited the word diffed. I never used it before. I never said the word diffed.
Oh, you're just nice. That's why.
Dude, well, no, I just said I said outplayed. I was outplayed. Like that's the terminology I used, and that like hit me, and I was like, oh, outplayed is what I used to say before I discovered Diff. And I was like, outplayed. And then I checked it, you guys. I'm like, Outplayed podcast, and dude, it was like unanimous within seconds. We're like, there we go, we got it.
Yeah.
There.
Because it is going to be mainly about Paragon the Overprime, but it's going to be other things as well. But ultimately, like we're just gamers, right? We play other games. We don't just strictly play Paragon. So I did like the Outplayed. Is like it's more of a gaming take, like Outplayed GG, like Outplayed good game. So it's kind of I started all the ones that we're going through. It was that one, and then I still liked Game Reverse. Game Reverse is pretty good, but we settled on the Outplayed, and that is the name of the podcast.
I think we would have went Gamerverse, right, if they didn't exist on like YouTube or something, right?
That's the other thing too, is like you also have to find a name that's going to be searchable or like friendly to the algorithms and stuff like that. And the stuff that I was coming up with, no one's going to look up Wardgo. They'll probably look up
Wardgo. Like, they have no idea what that means.
Probably look up like Outplayed GG.
If you look at the name Wardgo
around that,
bro,
what do you think of like as a podcast?
A support group of people who are tired of their games not having fishing and MOBAs. Wardgo is where all your Decker mains and all your like Athena mains might go and just complain about you carries who don't use wards. It's they have drinks, they play pummel party, and they roast the shit out of us for making rotations with no vision on the field.
I feel like if you say it's 3 times fast with the lights off, the Satan just spawns out of the floor. And it's just something crazy, weird terminology, Latin term that they just came out with out of nowhere. So a good thing that we didn't go with that one.
Yeah.
I think it could have worked.
But yeah, that is the podcast name. So Outplayed Podcast or Outplayed GG is the podcast name. And then again, this is the very first podcast that we're doing. So I kind of want to go more in depth, like get people, they see us a lot of the times, right? I stream a lot of the times. Wolfie streams a lot. Ego does a lot of the tournaments and things like that. And he's always in other people's streams, but they don't really get like in depth of who we are, or they don't know a lot of our like background. So my question that I want to bring to you guys is I want to know the history of your gaming. Like, how did you guys end up to Paragon the Overprime? Like, not when did you play Paragon, but how did you come up until Paragon the Overprime? And I'll start with Wolfie. We'll start with Wolfie.
Okay, so if we're going all the way back,
like how did you get into gaming?
I want to say I picked up Paragon. I started playing Smite and I like Smite, so I was looking into MOBA stuff and I found Paragon, original Paragon.
Was that your first game though? Like what did you play before Smite?
Like you're talking way back.
Yeah, we're going back, boys. We're going back.
When I was a little kid, I played Mario 64 with my father and my sister. That's where I think it started for me, for gaming in general.
Yeah.
Started on the 64, then I went to a friend's house. We played Gears of War, the first one.
Let's go.
Moved to Xbox after that. Stayed on Xbox, and then I wanted to play. It was back when like YouTube, the Gmod stuff was popping off for Vanos and stuff. Bought a PC. Started going into the PC verse. I feel like you graduate at a certain time. Where you start off as like with your parents' consoles, then you go to your own to find your identity, and then you kind of just graduate to what you want to do for the rest of it. If you're a casual gamer, you stick with consoles. If you want to take it more seriously, you go to PC. But how I got into Paragon, it was like 2017, looking at MOBAs and stuff. I liked Paragon's unique style of art. Like League of Legends is top down. I hate that. Smite was too cartoony. I couldn't do the cartoons.
Yeah, people don't like Smite's graphics. I didn't mind it, but
yeah. So then I decided to go into I saw Paragon and I liked the way the skins look, the characters look. So I tried that. But then again, I didn't know how to play MOBAs, and I just played Chimera. I saw Chimera, I played Chimera. I didn't know what jungling was. So in my head, mathematically, it just made sense to go to the solo lane. 2 on left, 1 in middle, 2 on right.
Never left.
I never left. I'd get flamed all the time. And I'm like, we're killing them off the lane. What are you so upset about? Like, I'm helping you. Oh my God, it's the biggest mistake of my life.
Dude, MOBAs are rough.
Paragon the Overprime. Okay, so in 2020, Fault was supposed to come out with their version of Paragon, and it got delayed because of the virus that took over the world.
Yeah.
So then I started Googling, like mass Googling, where can I play some version of Paragon? And I came across a Google Doc made by Rocket Media. Like, this is a whole history that we can go into. I don't want to stay too much on topic with that, but played that for 3 years. I've been playing Paragon for about 3 years now, but not this.
So you really liked OG Paragon. That you just Googled whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to play it, and then Fault's like, we're delayed, and I was like, I'm not having it. I'm playing something now, and I came across Paragon the Overprime, or back then it was called Overthrow.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, it was called Overthrow. Essentially, the history of it is that there's this guy named Rocket Mania. I'm pretty sure he's still on the dev team now.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a college portfolio, so he downloaded. He took all the assets because they were released for free, and he was making his own Paragon remake. He called it Overthrow. And it was a Google Doc you had to download. In order to play games, you needed to turn your PC into a server and share your IP address to port forward server games or games into your PC to play. It's completely rigged. I would not recommend doing this to anybody.
Dude, you sound like you're about to sound like you were gonna send $10,000 to an Indian prince, dude. Like, that sounds sketch, dude.
It was. I didn't care. I just wanted to play the game. Played the game, got familiar with it, been following it ever since.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
What about you guys? How'd you guys get into Paragon?
Oh man. Okay. So like, okay. So Cordy, you would like the deep lore. You would like gaming
Yeah,
into
give me
Paragon.
how you
Okay.
like. I like to see the transition of how you go
Okay.
from one game, because usually like the one game you're playing has nowhere
Mhm.
near the genre that you're ending up with.
Yeah, that's true. That's true because I started playing sports games. Was how I
Mm.
started, like video games. That's because I grew up in a household where like everyone was playing sports and stuff, and so it was natural that we play stuff like 2K, we play stuff like Madden, and I realized like the first spark, and this will be a metaphor for later, but the first spark of me falling in love with video games was I was playing 2K with my older man at that point, and he's like, he's beating up on me, and I discovered like the Lakers and Kobe. And this is crazy. This is like 2K like 11 or like 2K like 808 or something
Was that
crazy where the fadeaway is unbeatable.
was that Shaq and Kobe?
Yeah,
Okay,
dude. Yeah,
you said
because we were
Kobe.
playing on the old team.
Mm.
So like I discovered Kobe fadeaway corner point three. And I feel like my competitive nature was born at the
Mhm.
moment that my dad like hard double teamed me, Kobe step back jab three. And it was over. The moment it made the shot and my old man just like lost his shit. I wish at that age I knew the word gift. I wish I knew the word gift. I'm like, gift the shit, old man. Outplayed, old man. Look at me go make me my sandwich. But no. So it went on that, and that's like. Then I went home to my mom and I begged her for a console, and it took forever. But eventually, I got a PS2, and my auntie at a point got me. And this is a throwback. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this franchise, but I'm a ride or die for it. Was Kingdom Hearts? It
Yeah.
was Kingdom
Oh
Hearts.
God.
Dude, and I remember because my auntie one Christmas got me Kingdom Hearts 2 because she's like, oh, here there's Daffy Duck on it. Oh, there's Donald. It's a kids game.
Oh
And then
yeah.
I discovered what death was from Kingdom Hearts. Like that shit was so traumatic, dude. Like with like Riku and everyone on his found family like dying and stuff. It was crazy. But so I kept playing video games, and so it's the PS4 is out now. I'm in high school. And I'm playing games, and my stepdad is like, "Hey son, I got this game I thought you might like," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll try it." And it was Paragon. It was the original Paragon. He had got an early access club.
Wait, your dad got early access to Paragon? He was playing Paragon?
He wasn't, but well, he's my stepdad. And like a little context. At this age in like high school, I had seen my mom like get hurt by so many people that like whenever he tried to come over to our house, I would put my bike in front of the door to lock it.
Mm.
Because I'm like, bro, you're not about to come in here and just leave again. And so
I'm in the house.
Yeah, I'm the man of the house. So he's trying to find a way to connect with me. And so, that started happening through Paragon and like other video games. And so he like dropped off pretty immediately. He got diffed one time, skill issue, couldn't handle it. But I remember playing it and I think I enjoyed it, but I really like fell into it when Morgesh came out, like at a later date.
Oh, here we go. Morgesh.
Dude, it was insanity. It was insanity. Like completing the metaphor, that spark became a full flame the first time I Morgesh ulted somebody, dude.
That's crazy. So you actually love Morgesh, like.
Dude, she's like Morgesh, the character is fundamentally one of the catalysts of why I as a person love video games.
Yeah. That's crazy. Have that like connection with the character like that in video games. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I gotta watch my mouth now.
Why everyone's out here? Yeah. Keep my wife's now. You're about to catch
it's like ruining your childhood every time I go after her.
Right.
Well, all things considered, I did like get Gideon mastered. I still played it a lot, and I played a lot of Kwong. I played a lot of Gideon, but Morgesh was the one that took it from like this is really fun to I would love to like make some type of not just community, but some type of like living off of video games. Like they're like click, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's my arc, bro. That's my kind of history into it. Cordy,
that's cool.
I want to know what got you in the kitchen, bro. What got you cooking?
Okay, so you guys are making me feel old because you're like, my first console was a 64, PlayStation 2. I was rocking the Game Boy, man. I was rocking the Pokemon Red and Blue. But yeah, so I started with Pokemon, and I didn't really get into video games. I'd play like every now and then. My cousin had a PlayStation, and he had Resident Evil, and I loved horror stuff as a kid. I still do. So I played a lot of Resident Evil, and I played like a couple of games on the 64.
Dead by Daylight, maybe?
No.
Please don't say yes.
I do like DBD. I play DBD. I play a lot of games. But yeah,
Okay.
my cousin had like the original PlayStation, and then so I'd play that, and my mom would give me a console for Christmas. That way I can like stay occupied and play games while she's doing her thing. So I did that, but when I really got into video games is when I started playing Halo. Yeah, I wasn't into video games, and my closest friends at the time, they were like, all they would fucking talk about was Halo. They would come to school and just constantly talk about Halo. I was like, dude, you guys are nerds. I was like, at that time, I was more into sports. I was playing basketball and football and things like that. And they were just Halo. And then one day I just like hung out their house. No, actually, they came over to my house because they wanted to get me hooked on Halo. So they came over to my house. They brought the Xbox, and we just played Halo. And I kid you not, dude, like I think they came around, I don't know, like around 5 or 6 at night or whatever. They went to bed. They woke up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was still playing Halo. Like I was so fucking addicted, man.
Just like that, it starts.
I was so into it. I was if you guys played indie Halo, and you played OG Lockout, I was on top portal with dual SMGs, looking at S3. I was just so addicted.
Yeah, those were letters and numbers.
But that's what sparked my competitiveness for video games. I was already competitive because I played a lot of basketball and football and things like that. But I was really, whenever Halo happened, I got really competitive. And when Halo 3 came around, I took it really serious and started going to like events. I went to local events. I went to MLG events. I was considered semi-pro. Like I got top 16 at one event, so I was considered semi-pro in Halo 3. And then I played a little bit more Halo 4. And then eventually, I kind of just got burnt out of Halo. I didn't like the path that it was going.
Yeah.
So I moved away.
Is there like a spark point? Like, was it like a DLC, or was it like 343 taking over? Or
no, it's just I didn't really it wasn't competitive anymore for me. Like Halo Reach was and then Halo 4 I wasn't really vibing anymore. So I got away from like the comm scene of Halo, and then I started looking for other games to play. And at the time when I was playing a lot of Halo, like I played a shit ton of Halo. I would get on, practice, go to school, practice, go to school, go to events, play Halo. So in between that, I was just looking for a different like game to play. I was looking and I came across League of Legends. It was pretty big at the time, and I just was looking at different games to play, and I noticed MOBA. I started playing MOBA, and I was just playing like early games like AI bots or whatever. But it was just competitive because it was like constantly 5v5. It was competitive, and I really liked that part.
Dude, Cordy, you just like unlocked a key memory in my brain. Like I just had like a Slumdog Millionaire Raven Back to the Future moment. It's when you like said like League, so retconning a little bit. It wasn't just like Morgesh, like pre her coming out. I discovered a League of Legends YouTuber who nobody here is gonna know, called Trini Mortal. His name was Trini Mortal, and like me, he's like this huge weeb, and he did like these boss edits and stuff, and he made the content look so fun and funny of how like MOBAs and like how you could like take the gameplay that I did enjoy and just kind of evolve it into something else, dude. So like you said League, and that I think that was one of the pushing points before Mortgage of me being like, I would love to do what he does. That would be so sick, man. And now you're living my dream, and you got me co-hosting on the podcast.
Oh yeah, bro.
We made it. We're here.
But yeah,
we're here.
I got into League like barely, right? Because League was already established at that point. So I was already far behind of the learning curve. And so I literally went to Google and I typed in new MOBAs because I liked that genre. And the newest MOBA that came out, luckily for me, was Smite. So I think you guys already know I played a shit ton of Smite. Smite was early access when I started playing, and I played that game for 10 years. My goal was to go pro because I was coming off of Halo. I was playing competitive. I was semi-pro in Halo. And I still wanted to grind and get that competitiveness. And Smite was early access, so my game plan was play a lot of Smite, be ahead of the curve of everyone else that's coming in late, and then kind of go pro in Smite. So I played a lot of Smite, played it for like 10 years of Smite, and then in that Smite time, I just was getting burnt out, didn't really go anywhere with like pro wise in Smite. was getting burnt out, and then a new game came around. The trailer is what really got me for Paragon stuff. A lot of you OG,
oh my god, the trailer.
that trailer was so fucking good.
It's so goated.
I still
dude.
like
It's
every
so
now and then
good.
I'll go back and watch it and get like goosebumps. It was so good, man. So I saw the Paragon trailer and I was like, yo, this is amazing. This is the game I'm gonna go pro in. And then played a lot of Paragon, of course, it went downhill. And went back to Smite and then found out about Paragon OP. I found out about OP and Pred, but I got really bored of like how slow Smite is, so I really didn't go to Pred. And then I played play tested Paragon OP, and I was like, yeah, this is the game I want to play.
Dude, it's crazy like how quickly, right, a video game can like get its hooks in you and like completely change your outlook on like what your favorite thing is or what your like kind of favorite form of entertainment is, dude. Because like when it hits, dude, it hits so hard. I was fiending to play Paragon every single day. I remember I pulled out the drawers at the registers when the Monolith update came out for Paragon to count out the registers 30 minutes before the store had closed that I was working at. And I was working off commission. So people came in and I was straight lying to them. I was like, yeah, our registers went down. Sorry. They're just not up. They just don't work right now. I'm sorry. I'll come back tomorrow. We'll put your stuff on hold over here. And literally it hit 9 o'clock, dog, and the lights were off, and I was walking out the building, bro. I was like my priority shifted. I played because I originally started in Legacy. I started in the Legacy map.
I love that map.
And so the day that Monolith released, I like nothing else mattered, bro. I was going 70 and a 40, just trying to get home to my PlayStation, got it downloaded, and I was on it. I was with my friends. Dude, just click it. Yeah, I actually built my PC to play Paragon.
Really?
I heard that Paragon Overprime was coming out. I saw some of the gameplay. It looked awesome. Saw it was on a console, and like everyone else, I was like, console when? And they're like, we don't know. And I'm like, don't worry, I'll come to you. And I literally built my PC to play Paragon.
Hell yeah, bro.
I was like, don't worry.
Commitment. Here it is.
I'm in route, guys.
Imagine like when they tweet and like consoles win and Soulie's like, build a PC, nerd.
Oh my god. You know how many people they probably get? They'd probably get so many people for that.
Just build a PC, nerd.
Just build a bro. Step up the gameplay, guys. Drop a couple thousand. Because I will say I did drop an obscene amount of money into it. Because like if I wanted to, like, I had the dream of like becoming a content creator, like Trinity Mortal. And so I was like, I want to A, make content, but B, I want to play this at the max capacity that it can be played. I want to play with the most frames, the most beautiful. And so like I'll like peep into like some people's streams and stuff. They're running like medium low settings and stuff, and I respect it, and that's dope. And they're like, I'm maximizing my frames.
Yeah.
But I like dropped a used car into this PC so I could play at the highest like possible frame rate, but also like have the graphics be insane.
Damn.
I'm so irresponsible with my money.
For your mechanical skills, not your PC frame drops or anything.
Right.
That's what I do. It's sad too, because now that you have a good PC for this game, if you do get diffed, you got no excuses.
No excuses. Dude, people are already running me down in mid, bro. Stop giving them. I'm about to get post lobby chats like, nice PC, buddy. Like, come on.
All that money and you're still feeding?
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So Ego, you got into Paragon through Agora, right? But you fell in love with it during Monolith?
Well, so I loved it during Agora. I really loved it during Agora. Like I did play it a lot. It was like, if I had free time, I was doing that. Like I would tell my mom I'm not eating dinner, and then she's a black mom, so she said, yes, you are. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. And I came down and I just ate fast, and I went back upstairs to get more Paragon time in. But I loved Agora and stuff. It was awesome. I really thought the card system was gas. But Monolith, it wasn't Monolith that made me like hit the switch. It was Morgash. The first time I like ulted someone that doll, like what did Wolfie say? He's like, yeah, it was like that third grade pubescent rage. I just knife and like seeing the bug and stuff. And I think that was also the first time in a video game I felt like passionate about trolling some people, because I remember like waiting for people to start backing, and I do this to this day, and I'm like, oh, I got it?
Oh my god!
Do I got it? This
You're
is why I get
toxic. Oh no!
I'm already canceled. The podcast is already over. Oh my god, dude.
All right.
How about you, Wolfie? You played like the very beginning of Paragon?
All right, so
Like an
I'll give you
Agora?
the spark notes because honestly, this is like a topic we could go like 30 minutes on, and I know we have a script we got to follow here. In 2020, Rocket Mania was taking the assets to the game, and he was making a college portfolio. He was taking the assets to the game to make his own version of Paragon, just so he could get accepted into college. And this is from him. This is from like text messages in his Discord when he had his own Discord when he was making the game. I think he had about 10,000 people sign up. The player base was like 50 to like 23 people playing at any given time. And he's making it. And then what's it called? We were all encouraging him, like, we love this game. Please keep going into this. Screw college. Just dip into this. Keep going.
Well, really quick, was old Paragon like the way it is now? Was it like fast paced, or was it legit old Paragon?
It was on Agora. The map. It was on Agora. Let's see. He didn't really change much besides the teleporters. He added the dunk. Agora had the dunk mechanic too, so it had the dunk mechanic. But ultimately he changed. It was no card system. It was an item system. And then
which is good. I hate the card system. Card system was bad.
Yeah. I think the card system was like I liked it, but I loved useful.
The problem with the card system back then is like it benefited you from playing a lot more because like you can get items and you get little like trinkets to go in those items or whatever. I can't remember, but you would get those items
or whatever.
You would get those items. You have a better chance of getting them if you just played a lot more of the game. So new players coming into it were at a really like severe disadvantage in lane.
So like for viewers who may not know, imagine if like in current day like Paragon, Fruit of Greed was locked until you you bought it with radar, right? So imagine like if all the items at the shop almost had price tags on them and you got like these starter items for everything, and you're like, oh, I really want to start using Fruit of Greed in my games. 2,000 radar, please, to use this item. Like I understand it wasn't good, but it was a progression system before they had the mastery skins and before they had the crown system. So it was for me in my no life, like prepubescent brain. I was like, it's a skill diff to play the game more against people who they don't have like real life and like jobs.
They have like a basic standard card pack or whatever.
Yeah. So where then he was just making the game, downloading the game. He got some other devs to help with him. I think at a time there was 3 developers and like 4 artists. So it was mainly artists than developers. And I forgot, he said it in one of the volumes, in the early volumes on their YouTube, that like it was like December, they were putting their heart and soul into this, and that they were trying to get it done by Christmas Eve, and that's when they came up with the name Soul Eve for their company or something like that. I could be getting it lost in translation. These guys are primarily Korean, so I could be losing something in translation, but. And he just kept, we just kept encouraging him, keep doing it, keep going. And, we got partnered with Netmarble. Here we are now. So, like, the game itself was started out as a one-man project for a college portfolio. And it's hard for, I know, like, current players, they get a little bit toxic, they complain. But, like, from where I've seen the game from 3 years ago, it's very different. I have some clips of it on, on my old TikTok and my old YouTube and stuff that I could show in the Discord or something. But you guys seeing the game where it was to where it is now is much different. So,
they've been talking about bringing back Agora. I really like that map.
I love it.
That map was really good. It was really, really like just beautiful looking.
It is like with the harvesters and everything would be kind of insane. Like it added a level of like depth and complexity that I do think the current game does have. But we could always use more of it, if that makes sense. Like there's a threshold for like complexity within your game, to make sure like someone who's coming in and entering and transitioning to being decent, that isn't too far of a journey. Because it's okay in my opinion, if the path to going from being okay to being good and great, it's a long one. But the path from being new to being decent needs to be short. Like you need to like after 3 to 4 games, you're not going 0-16 because unless you're like an absolute like cracked out of the head gamer like myself who just doesn't care about how much I throw, you're just not going to continue playing the game because you're spending so much time A, inactive, B, not having the opportunity to understand what like you're necessarily doing or why these things are happening to you. And I know that's why whenever, and I talked about Wolfie with this very briefly yesterday, I think that's why whenever we're doing OPL games or like tourneys, me and you so frequently touch on why characters are good and what specifically their kit does, because we don't know how many players that are watching like this stream or like tournament streams are new. And if we can give people that knowledge, that is a part of like helping grow the community, right? It's making sure everyone's on the same playing field. Yeah,
and that's how like kind of MOBAs are. Just they're really, that's what I liked about MOBAs. That's why I got into it, because it's so much to learn. and it's really difficult to understand. But if you wanted to get into MOBAs, like Paragon is, I wouldn't say Paragon. Like the early the MOBA you can get into, the better you can grow with the
that's
MOBA.
true.
Because I can't imagine at this stage of the game, like going back to like a new player going to League of Legends or a new player going to Smite. They have like
It gets to a
100.
level of intimidation that you don't want to touch it.
It's
You know,
so there's so much like
that's the thing I have with Pokemon. Like for a quick side trick, I don't get into Pokemon because there's 2,000 of them, and it's confusing. And there's 15 different types, and then
76 trillion.
yeah, it's too much. But like this is like entry level, so there is new players that are looking for something. You get in now. The streamers are positive. You know, you have that kind of help outside of the game. YouTube videos from Cordy that will help you get there. So it's definitely a good time to get into the game.
I started playing Smite like 5-6 years ago, Cordy, and like even then, like as a newer, not 5-6. Oh my god, I forgot how fucking old I am. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, no,
Older than you.
It would have been 6 years ago. Yeah, we're fossil diffed. It would have been like 6 years ago at this point. I started playing Smite, and I was coming off of Paragon, so I knew the base mechanics.
Oh, okay.
But then I loaded into the game, and there was like 9,000 gods and 40 abilities.
Yeah.
And I'm
every god has like every god has 5 abilities with a passive, right? I mean, the passive is
they're all CC immune and they're all.
There's different like
God, don't
there's
even get me
different
started
stuff. Even some of the characters have like different abilities, like they can stand switch, so there's more abilities. There's way more items. Like it's just so overwhelming. A brand new player going into Smite or League, like I'd be so lost if I went to go play League.
Dude, I tried once. Great. Okay, so this is years ago, and this is like getting into the domain of just like overly sauced. I tried to play League a few years ago, and literally within my first like live game, bro, I got the hard R, dog, and I was
yeah,
because you like hear all the rumors and stuff about
how toxic it is,
like how toxic it is, right? And so I loaded into my first game and stuff, and because I don't have a life and because I have no self-respect, I tried playing Yasuo. The guy who was like, oh man, if you're a weeb and you think you're good at video games, you're gonna always play this character. And you know, me being me, I was like, yeah, you're right. Yes, I am going to play Yasuo. And I went in, got diffed, and it wasn't even just my ally team who was flaming me. It was the enemy team, bro. They're like, bro, why was that so easy? Give me a challenge. I'm like, bro, we're in bronze lobbies. Why are you doing me like this? And I'm still sad that like Paragon is like over and stuff. And okay. So like this is like straight podcast talk. This is straight podcast talk. Fun fact, Cordy. I refuse to support or play or even watch Fortnite gameplay because I blame it so heavily for the death of Paragon. Like my girlfriend recently started playing Fortnite and she's like, we should play together. And I was like, I would rather die. Like you that shit show killed my favorite. Your SpongeBob skins cost me happiness. But Soul Leaf has brought it back. But yeah, that is like I put way too much blame on that game instead of like the company just shifting its priorities on the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they were onto something, man. They were fucking booming fast and made so much money.
They changed the whole outlook of the industry. Like battle passes got made.
BRs,
cosmetics.
BRs got way more popular. There's already some
like,
BRs before, but Fortnite just like took it to a whole nother level, man.
Dude, the Travis Scott concert, as much as I hate the game, I was like, yeah, this is lit.
They do really cool stuff, dude. Yeah, they do really cool
like,
stuff.
you have to give him credit, no matter what. They ruined our baby, but like the credit where it is, they raised the standard of the game to hopefully some games can keep up, but honestly, they've just printing money over there, and they'll be on a whole level for the rest of their days until then.
Also, this is just my petty feelings. They didn't ruin my baby. They took it from the carrots that they were going to take it down the street to the daycare, kept walking, got to the coastline, and put it in the submarine controlled by a Nintendo 64 controller, and then launched it off. I wanted to be a game developer. Like, I had a whole idea of, like, because originally I wanted to be a Mangekian, and then I was like, no, I need to be a game developer. That way I can create my own Paragon and Soul Leaf. You know, they beat me to it. They did me.
What was that name? What'd you say?
Soul Leaf? That's the name.
No.
Right?
Yeah, they pay us.
No. What'd you say? Mangekian?
Mangekyou or something.
Yeah,
Mangekian.
What's that?
Mangekian.
Sorry.
So when I originally growing up, oh god, this is cringe. I'm gonna get flamed for it. There's this anime called Heaven's Lost Property on Netflix. I discovered it. I discovered it on Netflix. One week I visited my uncle in Minnesota, and so I was like just watching that because he had to still work, and it's terrible. For the record, I would like to say it is Wolfie. It is bad. Like if you guys go look it up, I don't want this to reflect on my current day character. Like the dude like goes around like wearing panties and
This
shit.
wasn't your first anime.
Wait,
right?
what?
Yeah. He's like wearing panties and stuff.
Oh.
It's crazy. And like there's these big titty angels that are going around.
That's why you got
Right,
into
there it
it.
is.
There it is.
Yes,
We got there.
Titty angels, yeah.
Yes, bro. Listen, bro, it was Seraph off the charts, bro. If you put her on the hub, dog, it went crazy. The anime's cringe as shit. But as a kid, oh my god, as a kid, I was like, this is art. So
this is industry changing art.
so,
I'm just
so
watching
I'm like,
cartoons, Mom.
literally. And so the end of like season 2 or some shit, I can't even remember, was on a cliffhanger, and then it was like, yeah, it's discontinued. And so I literally became the black Sherlock Holmes dude. Put the hair up in the tie, bro, put the hat on and got a pipe. I was like, Watson, we need to get to the bottom of this. Because I'm like, you're gonna tell me why my favorite anime got canceled, dog. So I find out it's because the manga was on a long enough hiatus that the studio didn't want to carry anymore. And so I'm like, the manga guys aren't gonna finish it. And so people who do the art and storyboarding for stuff are called mangekyans.
Oh. Okay.
In Japan. So my first dream, like my first ever like dream as a kid, was I was like, I am gonna become famous Mangekyan, okay? And then after I have a big following, because I'm gonna tiff the shit out of Naruto, of course, naturally, I'm gonna buy the properties to Heaven's Lost Property, and then I'm going to finish the story and force them to animate it so I can see my big titty angels again.
I need to watch that, not for the big titty angels. I just want to watch it because like that's the
main draw. I don't think you can.
That's kind of like your first anime that you kind of got into. So I'm kind of curious, like what it's about. What is it called?
So bad. It's called Heaven's Lost Property. I think in Japanese it's called like
You might want to open that on an incognito tab.
Yeah. Don't let your history find out what you're looking up here. Like you can like pull it up on shoot. I think it's been taken down from everything. I think and the thing is, like years later, they did finish the manga, and as like a teenager, I went back, like I was like 16, 17. I went back and I finished reading the manga because I was like, what happened? And it's still bad. Like it's still bad, but it was that nostalgia bait that really had me, dude. It's that nostalgia bait, dude.
I want to keep going on this like anime. Wolfie, do you watch anime?
Oh yeah, I love anime.
Yeah, okay, cool. We're gonna talk about Paragon, guys. We'll talk about Paragon. But
okay, yeah.
We're already
the other podcast. We have to stay on topic.
Next podcast we'll talk about Paragon. No, but we're already
God.
in that anime talk, so I want to keep going through that anime talk.
Okay.
So, Big Titty Angels is what got you into anime. Is that right?
Bro, don't try to get me clipped, Cordy.
Listen. If we gotta blow the podcast up somehow. I'll say it.
God,
I love
bro.
Big Titty anime.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
Oh.
Big Titty Angels is gonna be the thumbnail.
It's you wouldn't do me like that. People are gonna be thinking I'm discussing Seraph builds, bro. Oh my god. Oh man, but yeah. So like, yeah.
What are you
guys?
guys?
Was that in like Naruto?
Oh, and Naruto as well. So you're into Naruto.
I was into all the big shonen. Like I watched Inuyasha, Naruto. Like
Inuyasha, damn.
Yeah, we were into all of them.
That's
really.
the old one.
I'm fossilized, bro. I'm like 24. I'm basically in the end game.
How about you, Wolfie?
Funny thing is, when I first heard about anime, I was in high school. And I wasn't the guy that would make fun of you if you liked anime, but I would kind of like stay on the opposite side of the room as you. You know what I mean?
Nerd.
For some reason, in high school, I was just like, I'm getting girls. I'm gonna be a player. There was no like, I didn't have a personality. I just had. I will slay and it will happen. But instead of just, and then my friend told me. I remember I called him one day and he said to me, he's like, "Let me pitch you a show." He didn't tell me it was an anime. And he's like, "There's this guy with pink hair." I'm referencing Fairy Tail for anybody who knows. There's this guy with pink hair.
I need to put
he
that
has
to
a
the
cat
list.
that talks English or Japanese, but I'm gonna watch it in English sub. He's blue. He can fly, and he was hatched from a dragon egg. And I was like, "There's no way that's a show. That's probably like some fanfic somewhere." And I watched like 3 episodes. I got hooked on immediately. And then from there on, it was anything after. And then now after, like, you explore with other options of shows. I look back at Fairy Tail and I'm like, it wasn't really that good of a show,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's my favorite because it's my first. But
Dude, it's because it had the shonen formula so down, right? I am a certified fairy tale hater. I am. I can admit that. I can come
well,
to
I
terms
hate
with
Naruto.
it. Yeah, okay, that's good. That's fine. Like you can. Boruto's dad's not that cool anyway, but like those first couple seasons of Fairy Tail, dude, I was also hooked. Like with the theme song, it's like na 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 na, bro. Literally buzzing, bro, losing my mind. I was literally standing up when he like unlocked like the Dragon Neo punch and like screaming like my team was at the Super Bowl, bro. I'm talking full veins to the neck, sweat on my forehead, dude. The Fairy Tale was actually like, but like
Yeah, they fell into a formula of just like the same kind of thing. Just there's bad guy, someone gets pissed, bad guy down. It's like it's the problem with anime. But like, nowadays you have stuff like Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, where they're twisting things and they're making things that shouldn't be possible into a storyline. Which is why now, if I go to the movie theater, I can't really enjoy a superhero movie because I know what's gonna happen the second they show their face. Anime, it's so crazy that they twist and turn. Sometimes plot armor kind of gets annoying over time.
You kind of have to, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. You kind of have to, but
yeah,
they turn the craziest ideas into a storyline, and it's interesting to see how it plays out. So now, I think currently right now, what am I watching?
Man's about to pull up the watch list.
Trying to think. We caught up on Demon Slayer, caught up on Attack on Titan. Naturally, those are like the normie animes for anybody who doesn't.
They're normie ones, but they're normies because they're so good.
They're good.
They're like the Game of Thrones level of anime. They got the highest budgets. They got the greatest graphics and artwork.
Cordy, I will say the most recent season of Demon Slayer, while we're on the subject, real quick, real fast, looked really pretty. Story was made in that season. By the end, I was like still happy I was here, still happy.
I agree.
That it was made. But not as compared to like season 1 and 2, I was like, a little more on the fence.
So, but yeah, I'm a big fan of anime. But I definitely have like a taste. I can't do anything reincarnated. I think it's what's it called, isekai. Yeah, I can't do it. They're always overpowered. It's always boring for me. I can't do slice of life stuff, which is like normal high school days or a college student in a normal college. Like I can't do stuff like that, dating stuff, romantic stuff. It has to be something crazy or like just completely out there.
So quick question, Wolfie. Since we're on the subject, have you, because you like crazy and kind of out there, like kind of like high concept stuff, right? Have either of you guys seen Soul Eater?
Yes.
Soul Eater to me is literally I don't know how familiar everyone in like the viewership is, but like Naruto and like Bleach and like Fairy Tail, all those fall into the categorization of shonen. Yeah. Right. And Soul Eater is another shonen, but for me in my head, Soul Eater was almost like, it's so close to it in my brain. It's like the perfect shonen. I loved Soul Eater, dude. And it's like when you're watching it, it's so easy to just like accept and divulge, but then you step back and you're like, oh, this is about a society in the afterlife where death's weapons have to be of a certain caliber. So they send a bunch of small reapers with other people who happen to be able to turn into weapons to devour the souls of other people who have turned back in order to like basically sharpen God Death's weapon in order for him to go clap some afterlife cheeks. But like when you're watching it, it's not as like out of the mind and as high concept as what it really is. And I agree with you. That's why like some superhero movies just I just can't watch anymore, because like you come from like all these like crazy like really dynamic things and it kind of changes over,
But like the superhero movies, I'm just kind of like invested at this point. I've been watching it for so long now, the MCU. I'm just like so invested. Like even though it's like not good, and I was like, I gotta watch. I'm already invested. I put like a lot of years into the universe.
I'm very curious to see what they're gonna do with like all, because like we're in a phase now where it's a new generation, so they're gonna slowly phase out like Thor, Captain America's already out, Iron Man's already out, so they're gonna replace them. You can't just, there has to be a replacement. If there isn't, it's not gonna be the same. But when you replace them, it's gonna be like a watered down version, unfortunately, because people like us, we grew up with it, we love it, we're attached to it. It's not the same thing. But I'm curious to see, like, okay, you have Iron Man, he's dead. His daughter's most likely going to take over. How is she
actually
going?
No.
No,
actually,
they canned it.
So her daughter doesn't take. So according to like what actually happens in the comic books, 'cause I am also a bit of a comic book nerd. This other character by the name of Riri Williams is the one who takes over the Iron Man mantle, and she becomes
Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Yeah.
Is who
That's
she
coming
becomes.
up soon.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming
okay.
up.
I didn't even know all that, but like it's they better do it right, dude. Like that is something you have to do its justice, and if you don't, you'll lose so many people.
It's gonna be hard though, man. Like they really like peaked on Endgame. It was so good.
The Endgame
Like,
is literally like cinema gold, bro.
Leading up to that, it was just like wow. Like you can't top
it was so good that like the funny thing is, like when I watched the movie, I was like, "This is fantastic! This is great!" I loved seeing those little YouTube clips of people screaming when everybody came to come kill Thanos. Oh, so great! But the issue, what's it called? What was I going to say? Now I'm completely lost. I didn't realize when I went back and looked at the plot line for Endgame, it's like they go back in time to go get the stones. That's all it is. That's all it. And then the ending is the final battle scene. That's all the whole plot of the movie was. And I was like, it didn't feel like that. It felt like revenge.
It felt so grand.
Yeah, it felt like it was on such a scale that like you were so attached to it that it was like watching a Super Bowl instead of just like, they go back in time and get some stones. But
and it's because like also like the stakes are so high, right? I won't lie. In Infinity War, if someone calls spoilers on me, you're literally capping. It's been years. At the end of Infinity War, when T'Challa is like walking and he like falls and he starts turning into dust, bro, I was sobbing. I was like, you can't take him from me.
We just got Black Panther.
Dude.
We just got him.
I was literally sobbing. And then like I was like, I've never like been that shaken by like a superhero movie. And then you get to the end of Endgame and I'm literally in the fetal position on the floor. Like it's over.
And he was
I'm like Robert.
He was really huge, man. Like in the African culture, like Chadwick
Boseman.
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman.
He was huge, man, and
dude,
having a superhero like that is pretty crazy. It was really like massive.
Okay, real. Wolfie, Cord, I need you guys not to agree, not to expose me after I tell you this. Okay, are either of you familiar with what Movie Pass was?
Movie Pass.
Movie Pass. Okay, you're not. Okay. Diffed. It's over. I'm gonna tell you how I committed the biggest fraud scam of all time. So there was this.
All right, turn off now.
There's this card program called Movie Pass where basically you could pay $10 a month, get this little red card. And I think I still have the card somewhere around here because I have so many good memories about it. And you could swipe this card to see unlimited movies in the movie theater.
What?
Unlimited. It was called Movie. The guy who started it is now multiple millions of dollars in debt. And at least one of those mills is because of me. So it's like Movie Pass. It was insane. Like everybody who was using it at the time, because it was a little bit of a niche thing, was like, how is this sustainable for this person? Because it was truly unlimited. $10 a month, take this to any theater and unlimited just movies, right? And I was like, this is busted. So Black Panther came out and I got the Movie Pass card as a gift from
So that was more recent. The Movie Pass. Like, I've never heard of that before.
You're running a Ponzi scheme like 3 years ago? I think it's too soon, bro.
Dude, a little bit. And so Black Panther came out, the original Black Panther came out, and at that time I had Movie Pass, right? I had that little card. And every day I would go to the movie theater and I would go up to the lines, right? I'd go up to the lines and I'd be like, yeah, guys, anybody here seen Black Panther? Well, we are all right, cool. Can I have you guys step over here into this part of the line? And I would literally hop in front and I would just swipe it and pay for everyone's ticket. And if I was feeling courteous, I would just continuously swipe it and just pay for everyone in line.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right at all.
That sounds terrible.
Like the dude is now like millions of dollars in debt. And it's like he's like, yeah, this was in no way was sustainable. And I feel bad because I know like people like me took advantage of it because it was like having unlimited money for tickets in a movie theater. So I used this much.
You could like start a what's it called, a business off that. Be like, hey, dude, I'm going to this movie theater, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock, $5 for me, and I'll swipe you in. $5 to change. You're just looking at your money, your hand get full of money while you're swiping. Oh my god.
Our Wolfie's a genius, low key.
That's what I would have done.
So I never got to get to my our topic conversations are crazy right now. I never got to get into my anime arc, which is not as great as your guys. Like I'm more of the I was on that Wolfie thing where like anime is for nerds.
Stay on that side of the room.
Yeah,
I can't associate with you.
I'm playing sports. You're a nerd. Don't touch me.
I want women to flock to me, not stay away. I was
on that arc, but the only anime like because my best friend, we would just where I used to live, like there's a lot of kids, and we had this one like field that we played football in, and so one of my best friends, he was huge into Dragon Ball Z, and so we would come and we'd come over Saturdays and he'd just be watching Dragon Ball Z, so I was just chilling him watching it. And I actually really got into it. So DBZ is where I started watching an anime, and I never really ventured off that much until more recently, where I just started watching like, I think for me, I don't know how, but I got into Death Note, and I really liked how Death Note was, and that kind of got me like propelled into watching more anime. Then now I'm kind of like trying to catch up, so I'm watching a lot more anime recently. I finished Demon Slayer. I finished My Hero Academia. I need to start Jujutsu. That's one of the ones I want to start on.
And I'm excited for that one.
Jujutsu Kaisen is gas.
Yeah. I need to watch that. Like I hear so many good things about that. So I'm starting to really get into that anime arc. But for me, it was DBZ, Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z. Me and my buddy would just watch it like every Saturday morning. Like
it's the grandfather of all animes, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. The first time you see Goku go Super Saiyan on Frieza is an all-time golden moment.
Yeah,
it's literally kids came alive. The first time Frieza pulls up, hits him with the right jab, and Goku literally pauses, gets the plate, puts the sauce down, he hits his fork and eats it, and just looks at him. I actually screamed, bro. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm there with you too, man. That was like my. Because I didn't watch a lot of anime, but that was my anime peak was when he went Super Saiyan for the first time.
That's for those kids that say, you can't stop me. I'm the king. I have God and anime on my side. That's the moment where it started, is that scene. Is they see him go Super Saiyan, like, I can diff anybody who comes across me.
Like, no cap. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was trying to practice my ki when I was a little kid.
Bro, literally. Oh my God.
I was trying to like, if I just use my power, I can levitate.
Oh my God!
I was trying to practice my ki as a kid.
What is that YouTube clip of like the dude? He's just like screaming for fucking 30 minutes.
I was in my room practicing.
Yes, dude.
Bro,
I felt chills. Like, I'm getting there,
bro.
I felt chills on my arms and stuff. Like, yo, I'm actually gonna do this. I was
dude,
really
literally, dude. You ever be like focusing on your ki as a kid, right? And like something random around the room like falls, bro, and you're like, Goku, I'm coming, bro.
I'll be there.
The chills would got me, man. The chills would got me. I was like, I'm getting there.
Goku, you're diffed.
Yeah.
I can't, bro.
Anime does that too. That's the thing is that high you get from the anime. That's what we got on Endgame, and I don't get it anymore from superhero movies. So I'm gonna get my fix somewhere.
For superhero movies, like bro. I said, I'm still like keeping up with like Marvel stuff, the Marvel Cinematic. Loki is really good. I watched all the TV shows. Loki just recently came out, and like that
season, right?
Yeah, Loki season 2.
Okay.
The second episode just dropped like not too long ago.
Oh,
right.
That's pretty good. Loki is a really good show, and it's kind of keeping me, through MCU really.
Yeah, in my opinion, like MCU stuff has hit a point for me to where I just can't be bothered. They phased out all the stuff I care about, and then the new stuff that they did make that I do like, they haven't given it any screen time. Like, where the fuck is Shang-Chi at? Like, he got a movie. He hasn't got a cameo. He's not in a post-credit scene. Where is Shang-Chi? Like, where did he go?
I'm hoping Loki kind of gives us light where we're gonna go. Also, Marvels is coming out. Yeah, I'm excited for that. It looks pretty good. Hopefully we see like a sense of direction where we're going with the MCU. But Jonathan Majors kind of. I was like so excited that stuff was gonna happen around Kang, but stuff happened.
Yeah, it's not looking like it right now, dude.
So I don't know.
I gotta be that guy. Are we talking overprime today, or are we gonna stick on?
Yeah.
God,
No,
dude,
we are. We need
we're
to.
so wait real quick. How much time did we just spend
I
just
think
talking
an
know.
hour.
about stuff?
Has it been an
About
hour
an hour.
already?
I think
God, bro, the episode 1's gonna be 4 hours, dude.
Next
Yeah.
podcast, we'll talk about Paragon, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Pending
get
3
into
days.
Paragon. We'll get into Paragon. So,
Cool.
yeah, we just had the big patch, which is now in the middle of the month. We're doing
Mhm.
more of like the bigger patch. We're getting
Mhm.
item reworks, hero balancing. We just got the map, by the way, which is pretty awesome. What do you guys think about the map?
It's super spice. I
Looks
like
beautiful.
it a lot.
I like looking out, and since I'm a solo lane main, I like looking
Uh.
out in the sunset while my enemies come back to lane crying.
You have time to just look at the map.
That's great. I love it.
Reflecting on how I diffed you at the
It's like,
sunset.
I'm inner peace. The reason you're trash is inner peace from the sunset.
You haven't
love
had
it.
enough meditating time on Korean
My chi is
Zeus.
just on a whole level. My room shakes when I summon my chi. All the Dragon Ball Z helped me.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I'm a really big fan of that. I think it's the perfect combination of like that spooky season stuff without changing it up, because in my position, I was worried that the map would be too dark. So whenever I'm casting like tournament games or league stuff, I was concerned that like this is not going to be as easily viewable and accessible. So I went in, I did some testing, and it's bright enough to where a lot of the angles we've previously been able to do are still like, good to do. And you can still very distinctly see everybody, which is what I cared about the most. So
Yeah.
I honestly think they knocked it out of the park. Of course, people will always have their stuff. Like I do think they missed an opportunity to aesthetically change, like, Spirit, like having it be like the different horses of the Headless Rider, or like nightmares, which are like these flaming horse creatures.
I really feel
That'd
like
be cool.
those things will come in time. Like right now, it's just oh, here's a little bit of this, have some fun while we're still like working to get this game fully out. Like you mentioned, changing the map drastically. Smite does this a lot, but Smite's been out for like 10 years, so they can do like crazy. Like right now in season 10, they are doing like multiple map changes throughout the year. So I think in time, we'll see the map changes like that, which would be pretty cool. And they do a really good job. Like their cosmetics are so good, man.
Dude,
their skins, their skins are so good. Like I think they could do some amazing things.
When
Cosmic.
when I was making Pred content, and then I came over to like try to start making Paragon content for stuff when I was streaming under my my old streamer name, which will never be spoken.
Digging now.
What diffed me was just how good the skins looked in Paragon. That really it felt like the production value was just so insane, and that's something I put a lot of emphasis on. And that is one of the facets of the reasons why I stuck to this game. So as far as the Halloween map goes, I really like all of them. I think they're really like good. And as far as stuff that they're bringing in from old Paragon, I'm very happy that those are all able to be gotten with Rain Art. Like I think that's so huge.
I think that comes down to like they can't really make they're not allowed to make money, I guess, off of those skins, right? Because it's not. They didn't come
if
up
they
with
did, they would be so controversial that we're rebuying things we had 6-7 years ago. It would give so much hate to the game, it would hurt it.
Yeah, but yeah, they're giving everything free, and it's like it's to the point. I don't know if we can talk about this, but there's like maybe I shouldn't talk about what's going on in the partner Discord, but basically they're just kind of I want to spend money on this game. I want a battle pass. I want to help these guys. I want to spend money on these games on this game on like really good skins, and like the steel skin definitely gonna buy because that shit's fire. That's their own creation.
It's cooked, bro. It's so good.
Even though I don't play that character, it's so fucking just. I don't want to miss out.
Oh yeah, I bought it. I mean, I have an issue. I buy every skin that comes out because the plan is it's a business transaction, and I can sell my account for thousands of dollars. But in reality, I don't know. I like the game so much. I want to support the devs so much.
Yeah,
I like the flex. They're so well articulated, and when they bring them back with like up to date style, where like they touch on some things, make them pop a little bit more, whether it's colors or the textures on the skins. That it's really, it's not like they just like, oh, here you go, 2017 skin, and you can see that it's from 2017. It doesn't feel like it feels like they brought it up to pace. So,
I was doing the side by side comparison in stream earlier today. Like I pulled up the old skins and had it side by side of the new ones, and there's a little bit more detail and just looks cleaner. The colors pop a little bit more, things like that.
I saw you doing that for Narabash, right? And I do think 100% these guys are knocking out the park. And I kind of like backtracking to what you said previously here. I just want to support the devs, right? I just want
Making me pay some skins.
to give them the money, dude. Like your guys' skin, like the quality of the product I'm buying is great. I believe in the product that you're creating. I enjoy the level of communication that you have. Like for example, I cannot imagine another game, even at this stage, where I can personally message the head dev of the game and get a response. Yeah. Like literally, like I went in to go test some stuff and I noticed I'm like, oh, the increased bans from like 2 to 4 wasn't implemented in this one. And like I message out to Ranger and it's like a paragraph of explaining when it's going to be coming in, why it's coming in at this time, as well as what's going to be coming with it. And I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna buy your skins, dude. Of course.
Yeah,
I'm
I want to
helps keep them like personable. They don't feel like a company. They feel like people.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps, especially with like connecting with the community. So they're on the right track, I think.
I think next at the end of this patch, because we did this last time, right, with the summer skins. The next patch, we're gonna get more skins. You know, Yin's coming out at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So we have the Yin mummy skin. And we might see a few more of their own, which I'm looking forward to. Some of their newer skins. Who else we're gonna get? I think Witch Doctor Belica is still out there.
Who would you say is what's your favorite skins of the patch, since we're going over the skins?
This patch?
And the patch. Yeah, this patch, the Halloween skins that came out. Which one's your favorites?
I like the Murdoch. I'm a fan of Murdoch.
Murdoch
one's pretty good.
Bro, dirty carry man. Okay, unexpected one. My biggest fan of one is the Wushu special, dude. That Wukong skin is gas.
You like that? What? You guys like that?
Dude, I love that skin, bro. The complementing of the chains, how ragged the like vest looks on them. Not only that, but the glow effects on the end of the staff and
maybe
stuff.
If I see it
in game, it looks so good.
Yeah, maybe if I see it in game.
So also on the Halloween map, when you see it, it's noticeable and it fits the theming of it. So like you see Twin Blast run up on you, I'm like, oh, bro, what does she get their face painted over here, blammo? But you see like Wukong running through the sky with the flaming stick and the red skin. Bro, it's like it's so immersive, dude. I love it.
Yeah, I need to see it in action, I guess.
Yeah.
What about you, Wolfie? What do you like on the
I'd say my top 3 would be Kai, the Wukong, and the Murdoch. I think I like the Kai because it suits my personality. He looks like a sociopath. So when he's running at you and he's like swinging like a crackhead at you, I just feel like I'm like, yes, this is me. This is what I'm going to do to you, and I'm just gonna run up to you and smack the shit out of you and then leave. And I love the way you look like a Joker. You look like crazy. Yeah. I like plus I'm a big fan of the color orange on the back on his back with like the crescent moon and the texture. The texture to like he has like some weird texture to his like fur, I guess or pelt that he wears. It's kind of which is different from all the other skins. So like I'm just partial to the Kai skin for sure.
I also did preemptively put in Discord, on the Overpowered Discord. I'm like, that Chimera skin is going to be Wolfie's favorite because it's the one that's wearing a hat. Got diffed, got him, locked in, locked. I resent statement. It's hard to delete.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to when like all the content is out of OG Paragon, because like they just do such a great job on their stuff, like their skins and stuff like that. Their content. So I'm just looking forward to like hurry up and get done with OG Paragon so I can get the new shit that you guys are cooking up.
Yeah.
Dude, right? And so I'm a mix though, if I'm to be honest, since like we're touching on that. I'm a mix of excited, like excited is the primary thing. But I'm also kind of concerned because we were on the schedule of like 2 old characters, a new character, 2 old characters, a new character. And with how it looks now, we're now 4 going to be 5 characters straight of the vintage characters.
Yeah.
Or is it? And so I'm now like entering a spot of like, are you guys going to be able to keep up this character a month? Is it actually sustainable?
I feel like
it's not sustainable. No way. I think Smite takes 6 months to come out with a new character.
Yeah. Smite does like 6 or 7 in a year.
Yeah.
Like they started like really hot and they started slowing down and. But no, they really shouldn't, like more of a balancing, and then every now and then, like every 3 months, they'll drop their own character. But I think now they just really want to get all the OGs out of the way. That way they can, just focus on their own stuff.
And who's maybe instead of coming out with characters, they come out with modes. Maybe you get like Decker Dodgeball, or you get like everybody's Rampage throwing rocks at each other that one tap each other. Like maybe we'll start to get some more arcadish casual stuff or new modes. Hopefully it's not that godforsaken battle royale mode that they're working on, but
so I don't really have as much of a foot to stand on here because unlike you guys, I'm not a real streamer. I'm just a casty boy. I just describe the boops and beeps I see in my brain and let my lungs collapse. But I would love for them to even implement stuff like a double XP weekend and stuff here coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
reasons to encourage people to play, reasons to get people in here playing the stuff that you're putting so much work into. Because if you're a player of the game, you're like seeing these additions to skins, you're seeing these additions to a combination of like how the map has been changed as well as some itemization things, and you're like, this is good, this is good, and I like this. But someone who doesn't play this game or isn't in the sphere of it, outside of like maybe seeing the trailer or seeing a clip of it, what's their incentive to like get in or re-hop back in, to it? We got a really good like spike with the mastery things. And I think if they did something like Halloween weekend, double XP for the spooky system, insane. I absolutely would go with
I think that's something like that will be eventually, I think. But yeah, going over, so skins, pretty fire, these Halloween skins. Going over the hero balance, you guys read the patch, right?
Yeah, I have the notes in front of me and everything, so I'm ready.
What do you think about the hero balancing? Anything that stands out to you guys, or?
I'm gonna let Wolfie cook first.
There's one character that got wrecked.
I'm okay with one character being the best at level 1, right? Because that's like the reason these patch nerfs is like these guys are good end game, these guys are good too early. This whole thing that they did with Rev, they recently nerfed him. He didn't need the buff that you gave him last time.
Yeah.
He was in a fine spot before you buffed him, and now you're nerfing him to counteract what you did to him. He was fine where he was, and I'm okay with him being the number 1 ADC at level 1. That's totally fine. We have that for Kwang, we have that for FaZe. Like, we have each character each role has a level 1 different, and it's fine. But now it's like you got bored. Oh, Rev doesn't have enough, let's buff him more. And it's like, I didn't think it was necessary. You didn't need to buff him to begin with, and now you're nerfing him to fix it.
Yeah, I think that comes down to
they could have done that.
I think that comes down to, and that's the reason why I like them going like balancing once a month. It gives time to marinate. It gives people time to play the character, get more statistics and things like that. Because they were like buffing and nerfing and buffing the same character, and even Kalari just got another buff where she got nerfed. She got buffed before, got nerfed, got buffed again recently.
Got reworked, got buffed. It's so just
So yeah, I like that they're doing it once a month now. Let it get time to marinate. And of course, if something is like completely broken, they're gonna fix it. Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that with Grim, right? That character was.
They nerfed him
like Batman Bane broke. Yeah, 24 hours. Like it was released. People are like, bro, what the fuck is this? And then they nerfed him. It was instant. As far as like the patch goes, I have so like just general thoughts. I do think the nerfs needed to happen to Drongo and Rev, especially from a competitive standpoint. How many days have we spent just being like, all right, banned Rev, pick Drongo, moving on. The Adele changes I think are also like good. They're getting her, a little bit closer to a space to where I think she's a little bit more fair, and she's just not like all powerful. The Xeno changes had me absolutely goofing, dog. I was so happy. I'm so tired of seeing this character, not even at the competitive scene. I'm just tired of seeing him in my quick plays, right? I've marinated in this knock up shield untargetable ult for long enough. So like them putting a little bit more cooldown on that ult, I was a big fan of. So I was talking a little bit with Wolfie about this preemptively and previously. I have a little bit of a hot take. Here. It was understood that Drongo and Revenant were an option. The thing, in my opinion, that they changed within the game with this patch, that I liked seeing on this patch was the actual nerfs that came by to Narbash and Muriel, as well as having anti-heal now be more quickly and easily accessible. Like, as someone who has watched a lot of the competitive scene, right, and it's been present for a lot of it, it's been unique seeing the evolution of people being like, this role, it's like really good when they had active items, so the active items got lost and it was like, this role is terrible, and then the new ones got added. It was like, okay, we're back to being in a good place. But in my mind, from what I was seeing here, it was a lot more than being in a good place. These characters by themselves aren't like extremely powerful, but with the itemization, they were extremely impactful. My thing, to a point to where we saw arguably, well, not even arguably, we saw the best team in the world go, we want to take Muriel solo and basically just give up that tower and give up her levels because supports can be that impactful and that powerful. And they just were able to steamroll with it. So at a competitive standpoint, I like the changes to the characters to where they can still be as impactful and as powerful as they were. But it takes a little bit more now, and you're less likely to overstand to get it. But I also am a huge fan, and nobody agrees with me on this. I am a huge fan of them making anti-heal options cheaper. And I just overall like the changes they made to the combination of Narbash and Muriel as well as the anti-heal items. That's my hot take.
The
so
problem
my question is, oh, sorry, Corey, keep going.
I was going to say that the problem with the anti-heal is you got to like really invest into it, right? Now they made it to where you just buy that tier 2 and then you move on. Like if you need anti-heal, I feel like you need to really invest in it. You need to put more gold into it. But I don't like that they made it to where it's easily purchasable and then you just move on. You get that one item, that tier 2 item, get your 40%, and then you just go to the next item.
Yeah.
It's
oh, go ahead.
It's for me, it's the fact that it's less in a competitive sense. I like it for like quick play and casual players, right? Like you can, if you have enough knowledge of the game, you need to buy anti-heal. For a new player, it could be like detrimental to the build or detrimental to what they know, to just, they might not know like, okay, I need anti-heal. So I bought, the anti-heal item. Now what do I slot into? Do I still go big treasure sword? Do I build more crit? Do I now go attack speed since I'm not going to be able to hit that threshold? What do I do? I like that it's cheaper for more casual players and casual audiences who may not have all the in-game knowledge that we as sweats and content creators for this space do, because it's as easy now of like click this item, click that item, sell it later. And I do think in the competitive sense, it's one of those things that I would like you said, to see marinate a little bit.
Yeah.
So my question is that the anti-heal changes are nice, but I don't know a character that really either life steals so much to warrant it. Like every time I see ADCs build short sword first, I always think it's like it's a dead pick. You don't pick that. You don't do that because you're just hurting your spike. You're not canceling anything out that can't be easily dealt with in my eyes, right? So the anti-heal dice is good, but at the same time, I don't see any healing. Now there's the other thing too, is I think that instead of nerfing Narbash and Muriel, you nerf the support items, right? The healing from Narbash was insane because of the support items, from what I can tell. And I'm not a big support main, but I think you could have gone after the items and not Narbash, because Narbash is healing flat without those items. Isn't really, I don't think it's that, it's okay. It's good for healing trades, like after you guys get into a little fight, but it's not going to keep you alive during a team fight. So I feel like nerfing him made no sense. Just nerf the item.
Yeah, also like let Narbash shine. And when was Narbash fucking good?
Let him get his moment.
Like when was Narbash good? Like, top pick support or anything like that, like warranting a nerf. He was never really that case. So yeah, give him some time to shine, man. Give him some time to spotlight.
So I like, and kind of like narrowing it on what you said, Wolfie. I think Narbash shines the most as a disengager, right? As okay, we had a little poke fight, we had a little team fight. We might have lost one, or maybe in the best case scenario, you didn't lose anybody. Let's reset. And the thing is, we saw Narbash shine very heavily in competitive play around objectives, because you just send in your take and just, all right, we're going to start Prime. That's just what we're going to do. We're going to send in the Severon. We're going to send in the Adele. We're going to send in XYZ, and we're just going to start Prime. We're going to slowly start getting that health pool a little bit lower. And if you guys want to hop in the pit with him, we're going to be able to then hop it off of you, because we're going to see where your positioning is looking like. But B, if he wants to disengage and we want to reset, you are wasting your time, especially if we have the lanes picked, because we do have that Narbash. And I feel like in those moments, that's where we really saw him kind of like step up to the plate and be a very good character. And so in your guys' opinion, because since we're on supports, I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts, because it's something I've been brewing on. Do you think, as far as where Mako is standing, not only in quick play, but in the competitive sense, do you think he is now closer to Muriel? Or do you think that the gap is still as far as what it used to be comparatively? Because in my opinion, Muriel was just leagues ahead. Do you think with these nerfs that she's kind of fallen back? And would you say these nerfs put all of them on an even playing field, or is Muriel still just blowing people out of the water because there's no counter to shield?
It's really hard for me to say, because like I don't care for supports. I don't play a lot of supports or anything like that. It's just not my play style. So it's kind of hard for me to say, but I know going against people who are playing supports, I do see a lot more Muriel's, like in the casual sense, and it seems more impactful. Just like, bro, I'm tired of dealing with your damn shields. Healing,
they
I can
need
get
to come out
anti-heal.
with something to deal with the shields,
Yeah,
and
shields are
Mako
just
was
nuts,
the only
man.
thing. But if they come out with an item that negates shields, I guarantee you Muriel will be like a niche pick, maybe. You know, maybe that player just loves Muriel, or maybe they're built different with Muriel. But once they come out with that item, I definitely see her pick rate falling off pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I do hope we do see, you know, relatively quickly there. And I don't think that Muriel can ever really be a niche pick with a global ult, right? Having global protections in a current situation never is bad, right? Like Narabash isn't cross mapping you with a thunk that's giving you 300 HP. But Muriel can be anywhere you need them, and that's actually, you know, kind of pivoting back to what we saw in the Tion Invitational, right? When they did take Muriel support into the solo, it's like, oh, we're losing the trade in duo lane. Muriel tactical deployment. Brr. Okay, well, now you guys are very hard losing this trade because you've already committed your pain, you've already committed your protections,
And then you just set up for the objective as well.
Yeah, it's like that ult is just so good. It's so good. Always and forever, but
okay.
But one of the main the main heroes that I'm looking at here, well, there's really two for me, but one of the big ones that's gonna hit here with the ego is Morgish. She got like just every ability, pretty much, just got
touched. Yeah. They straight up back, bro. So I think she is still a playable character. I do still think that she can, you know, be a very playable, prominent character when you get into that late game. However, and that's only because if I like looked correctly, they did not touch the cooldown on her right click. I said before to everyone who like talked to me about where the character sat, since I had played so much of it, I'm like, she can survive anything but a nerf to the timer on her right click. Like if you change that, this is a dead character. Nobody will ever play this character again. Because the range trade is so bad, you know, and you know, we know good players can operate it well and, you know, be prominent. But even like the best players in the world, like Bad Timing, it's the best team in North America currently. They are. That's what it is. And even then, even still, they were playing around trying to get Morgish stacks at 26 minutes into the game. They were like, guys, we need to get her stacks because good players know if you are going to die, you're not getting stacked, especially with the option of having protections up, especially with the recovery up. Even if you have sustains, if you have someone like a Muriel on the team, they can completely mitigate an ult, and you're not going to be able to get those stacks. And those stacks are what made her good. So now not only are you having to fight to get stacks against good players, you're also going to have to fight to get that damage bump a lot quicker because they nerfed what the stacks are giving you. They nerfed how much damage your abilities are going to do to get somebody within that threshold. They nerfed pain also within this patch, which was, at least for me, guys, you could hate me and I understand, but that was a crucial tool in putting somebody within that threshold of being able to stack them. Just, all right, dude, you're low.
That's what
you're either going to die to pain or I'm going to stack you.
Yeah. That's what I would do to mid, like to get those stacks. As soon as you hit level 6, try to get them under leveled or under health, and then drop the pain on them, and then finish them up with the ult.
You just gotta make them force it, right? And I will say the character was very, very good. And you know what we thought was when we originally talked about it, we're like, yeah, the character's good, but also in the same vein, they're not so good to where they're like breaking things at a competitive level. And then, you know, Cordy, you know the stats. You were peeping my wife's game. You know, we were.
So, but even though she was getting picked, but it was just like at some points I was like, man, if they just had a different mage there, like
that is true. She is high single target damage. She's not team fight damage, so she's either gotta go in from behind or she's gotta kill somebody before you even do a team fight. Which, you know, good teams are gonna play safer around that. So
at some games she was impactful, then some other games she was not impactful. But
and those games she wasn't impactful were the games, right, where she just wasn't able to get those stacks, where she wasn't able to farm in lane because even her farming, she has to be closer. And when they played around it, they shut it down. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't think we will ever see that character be picked in competitive again.
I can agree.
I don't think Morgesh had a week or so to shine, like 2 weeks to shine. She will never get picked again. Just because overall, from my perception, the things that made her good, despite the risk of just falling behind and not being able to contribute her, were nerfed to such a point to where the risk versus reward is now just unbalanced. Like it's not the same. And that's my overall take on the character. Now I will still be playing her because I do find her to be a fun character.
Yeah.
I do, like I said, I have a history with the character, so I'm always gonna like have a tendency to like revisit it. But I would be shocked. I would be bamboozled to see like in the next tournament or in the next like game we are hosting that Morgesh gets picked up. I would be absolutely bamboozled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Morgesh
like, Ego, that's for you. Here we go. I'm taking her there.
Dude, just like hell to sell.
The other person that I kind of want to like go over that got buffed was Grim. Grim is one of those characters that like every single patch he was getting hit. He's getting hit. Yeah. And then they gave him that more recent one where they nerfed the projectile speed, and that was the one that just killed Grim. It was so bad at that point.
Yeah. That was. We went from seeing Grims every game to seeing Grim once every 17 games.
Yeah. And if you went Grim, you're like, bro, you don't know what the method. You're not keeping up with the update. That guy is trash.
How many of you guys played him? I haven't touched him or seen him often.
Actually, I played him once. And so they gave him like some cooldowns. They gave him some more power on his abilities. But the main thing was the projectile speed on his Q. So his like displacement blast, the long range, damaging ability. It's a lot faster to get to the target where you're trying to hit. So that makes him a little bit better. They didn't do that to the ultimate, which is great. I didn't want them to do the ult. It makes it more to where you can kind of block it. But he's not bad. He's playable. He's not like amazing. He's playable now. Before he was just like, man, this is the worst pick you could play in mid.
Yeah.
I was trying like different builds to make him viable, but he was really, really bad.
I saw if I see a Grim, I'm like, that's either 1s and 5s or that's someone who just really loves that character.
Yeah. Or grinding for the mastery skin that was terrible. Thank God they fixed it.
Yeah, the crown looks nice now.
So I have a question for you guys about some of the item patches.
Okay. Ooh, baby.
What do we think about all of the anti-attack speeds getting buffed?
This patch was a really like fuck you ADC patch.
It really was.
It was like,
thank God. They helped me do God's work on the solo lane even more.
They smacked
I'm tired of ADCs there.
Oh yeah, so we could. I wanted to ask you about the solo lane, but yeah, we could go over builds or items really quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of them were mainly just buffing physical defense, crit. Like I feel like we're not going to see crit anymore.
10% jump, dude.
10% jump, but also you get 20 more defense and 5 more CDR. So like you want to build that item. That makes it really good. Just the 70 defense, man.
Dude, yeah, and there's a price jump that does come along with it, but they also change the combination of things that you're building, and with Tattoo of Defense now kind of getting added into the meta, that is going to give you a little bit more physical defense as you're looking to build into it. But overall, I feel like Wolfie finally got his stream, man. Him, Ranger, they got on the call. He whipped out the book and he said, Psalm 17, passage 4, thou shalt make this shit unplayable in the solo lane. And I do think that, characters definitely are, these characters do still very much so scale very well to the points to where they were in the game.
Yeah.
But I also think I'm getting a mixed reception from the community. I partially think people aren't giving nearly enough credit to some of these changes. I had multiple conversations today alone where people are like, this patch was a do nothing patch. And I want to be like, you obviously didn't read the patch notes. You didn't so
the ADCs eventually they'll be where they were last patch. So late game,
they have to keep that though.
Yeah,
they have to keep that. They have to keep their ceiling, because if their ceiling isn't the same, then they have to nerf mages, and then they have to nerf tanks, because now tanks are too tanky for both of them. They have to keep it to the same, which is a very smart call on their part. Nerfing them early was great.
How is that, by the way? Have you come across any ADCs yet?
I didn't come across. When I was playing today, I didn't see, because the patch did come out today for all you people on YouTube. The patch is the same day of this podcast. I didn't see any solo in there or any ADCs in the solo lane there. And if I did, I had a plethora of options to pull from. I was expecting them just to nerf like their overall start and their potency. I didn't expect for me to slow their attack speed more, to take less damage from their crits. Like I think, like, to be honest with you, if let's say you take away the item changes and you just nerf their starting point, realistically, you put a band-aid on the problem. The reason that IDCs don't get punished in solo as much is because there is no penalty. There's a 25% movement speed when they're holding down S. It needs to be a little bit more. Like me playing Seb with my big ass hammer, I don't float fast enough to get up to you, right? So it needs to be a little bit more of a penalty on that. But now that you gave us all these item changes that negate attack speed and negate crit, the penalty would probably be too much to the point. So
it's like a double nerf for ADCs.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. They already nerfed your floor. Your floor is trash now, at least in practice. And now I have everything I can to fight you off at level 1. Also, even cheaper.
Have you? Well, I guess because you haven't really gone against range ADCs in the solo, but Ring of Protection. So.
Yeah.
It says on the patch that your range hero basically has 8, but it's actually 12 in game. So you're getting your defense, and then you're reducing their basic attacks by 12 as well as the early nerf to their damage. So it's like nerfs on nerfs on nerfs to the ADCs. So, but I think it's good, man. Like you guys know, I play a lot of ADC. I like it. Well, I don't like it, but I play it.
Have you noticed in the dual lane, like, is the dual lane moving slower because they're not hitting harder, or is?
No, it still kind of feels the same pace.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, everything's still the same. I still get that Cordy treatment. The Cordy passive kicks in.
The Cordy passive goes crazy. Not like the Ego passage goes crazy though.
I don't know if Grease or Modi's in here, but man, that guy hit his red buff and immediately was in my lane in jungle. I was forced to blink out. I was like, give me a chance to hit a minion, please.
Cordy, he's a big fan. Okay.
But Grease he's a cool dude. But it was just funny. But yeah, I really didn't see much of a difference in the dual lane.
That's good. Because you can't. It's hard to nerf an entire like class of characters without completely changing their utility in the role that they're supposed to play. Because before, like, there's ADCs in the solo lane, which, if you're a good solo laner, most of the time you'll be able to kill them off the lane. You'll be able to take the tower. You should be able to play smarter or pick fights in the solo lane, because that's what it kind of trains you in the solo lane, to learn how to pick your fights when you know you're going to win them, instead of just dual lane, just W king until the tower kills you. So if a good solo laner should be able to deal with the ADC. Now it's a little bit less stressful. Which is
that's the main thing. It's making it easier.
But the biggest issue that I had with the ADCs in the solo is there is no level of tank that can tank the dual lane ADC and the solo lane ADC at the same time. There's not enough physical defense items in the game at that point that stop somebody from critting you 1100 by 2 ADCs. There's no way. It would ruin the entire end game balance. But now, since it's not going to be in the solo lane, it probably won't happen. So
and we'll touch more of this for sure, like next week, because we'll get more gameplay on the current patch.
All right, boys. This is the one that people really want to hear about. This is the one that we've been cooking for, we've been asking for, and now it's in the game. And I've seen people very split. I've been seeing people, it wasn't enough, it doesn't matter, and I've seen people on the other side of it being like, it was a good nerf. They shouldn't do it all at once. And I find myself at the latter camp. I think Okay, so first, what do you guys think about the pain? What do you think about the pain change? The numbers just slightly adjusted.
Yeah, I was still kind of running it. I was doing some testing on it, and there was opportunities where I got kills because of it, and if I didn't have it, I didn't get that kill. Whether it's like 1v1 in mid or like in the dual lane or something. It's small, but it also is the casual community. Like we've seen it in competitive. When I say competitive, I mean like actual like pro league, not competitive rank. In competitive, we saw a lot of protections, no pain, and I think it's just casual players are behind of what it is. So I was still kind of rocking, and I think it's still kind of viable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and my take on it is because I've seen a lot of people just tuned in and just be like, it doesn't matter. Like I get it. Okay, guys, we've played with pain for months.
Mhm.
We've played with pain for months now. It's always been good. The cooldown has always been insane, but in the face of them making changes to it, they obviously have heard that it's a problem.
Yeah.
They've obviously been tuning in. These guys are obviously playing their own game, because if they're not, then Payne wouldn't have seen any change at all. I would rather see them over the course of this patch, maybe the next patch, or even the patch over that, instead of just basically removing a karma out of the game, because they're going to be an incremental spot in the game and the competitive scene and into quick plays forever, because it's now a fundamental part of how people kind of play into each other. You pick your character and you pick your karmas, and those are always going to be impactful. But I would rather see them slowly adjusted and hit the sweet spot than for them to just grab it, by the hips and over the head suplex and put its head 6 feet in the ground, and then this karma just be overall unusable. It's one of those things where I think this, in my opinion, and I know that I'm in the minority on this, I think this is the proper approach. A lot of people just want to see it out of the game. But like you just said, Cordy, in the competitive sense, in the actual competitive sense, like 5v5s, money on the line, tourneys, we didn't see pains.
No,
We saw
yeah.
protections.
Protections was key, and that wasn't touched at all.
So that's where it comes down to, where do you want to balance your game? Do you want to balance your game based off the competitive, or do you want to do it off the casual?
Yeah, it's hard.
Which is a bit of a hard point, because if most of the community is competitive, you got to go what they say. But if it's casual mostly, but because the game's early access, you kind of get to dip into both, I guess.
That's the problem.
But I definitely think there is problems in this game where it's just a quick play problem. Once you play more quick play, once you take the game more seriously, you'll learn how to fight it. You'll learn how to box it out, to diff it. It takes time. Like, I know when Morgesh first released, everyone's like, she's overpowered. She was very potent at the end game. I'll give you that. But if you just, stayed more than 10 feet away from her, she's not doing anything.
Like, on the day patch, I can't count how many times I've dipped Morgesh in mid.
It's literally insane. It's literally insane. And I do think the character needed adjustment. Do I think this adjustment was very severe? Yes, but I'm also a Morgesh man, and I can recognize that. I think she's no longer competitive viable. We already touched upon that. But it's all I went against a few players. There weren't many who I could see had an understanding of how to play in a Morgesh. And that was characters who either had an escape and were able to utilize their CC in order to create not only space, but stifle me from being able to create space. And in that same vein, get damage across. For example, I don't remember the guy's name, but I went against a Bellica, not on release day, but it was 2 days after. And I was in lane, and I was going the basic Morgesh tactics. I'm going to run at you. And so... And all he did was he just held his knockup for it. I'm going to run you down. Knocked me up, dropped a bomb on me, reset. And I'm like, okay, I lost that damage straight. All right, well, I guess I'll run through the minions. I'm going to knock you up again. And he just held the knockup and allowed his damage to come through to me when I tried to be proactive. And that's something I feel like a lot of players don't understand. If you want to beat Morgesh, as much as you don't like it, you can't be as proactive as you normally are. You need to be more reactive around it. Is it harder for people without CC to do? Yes. However, luckily for you, most mid laners have some form of hard CC. Gideon, Grim, even Bellica, you have some way to kind of stifle the pressure she's going to be looking to approach to you. And we also saw that at the higher ranks. Wraith got picked into Morgesh a bunch of times coming out of the J with the Honolulu guys. And that's because he could maintain a very far range of reach. And then anytime he would go to push up, he just backstab. And then once that run through is gone, you don't have a disengage. B, you're not actively going to be mitigating any damage. And before and after, you're going to catch a couple snipes to poke you out.
And that's just the 1v1 matchup too. Not even to mention the jungler who has CC rotating in mid.
Oh, the jungle off cooldown always in there.
Yeah.
I have all right, so this is I don't know if you guys noticed this in the patch notes. I was looking it over just now. The Ziggs item, let me see if I can find it here. Sturdy combat suit. Granted, they made the anti-heal. They buffed the anti-heal on it. Great thing. Did you see that the purchase restriction went from 6 down to 1?
What is that?
I don't know. It wasn't me. But which one of you was throwing 6 of those things on and running at chimeras and making their days miserable? Because when I saw that patch, I was like, that could have been a skin. We could have gotten a skin instead of reducing 6 to 1. That's so. Just give me like a skin on Grux or something. That's insane. Somebody's just running down chimeras with 6 sturdies or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I saw that. I wasn't really sure like
people.
what was going on with that one.
I don't know what that was. I've seen people buy 6 masks from Zimas. I've seen that. But I don't know who the hell is. No one can heal anywhere in this game, and they're just running around with 6 of those things.
Just 6 30s deep, man. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's that. Like, who were you and who hurt you? Like, what Chimera game made you a Pred player for a couple days before you came back 6 30s deep? Yeah. Like that's some trauma, bro. That had you feeling a little afflicted. I overall, I mean, fine change, weird change, but fine change. The anti-heal they applied to it, as I've said it before, feels good. Just generally, another one that I see they're trying to push here, and this is my take on the worst item of the game is energizing macaroon. I hate this item.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
I hate that item. It's still not playable.
Nah.
No.
It really feels like just if you have gold and you want to get to lane quicker late game, you're already like full build or whatever, then you purchase it to get like a little quick health and stuff. Yeah.
Nah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's one of the, I bought it one time. Funnily enough, and it was against Wolfie. Because we were soloing it to settle the diff. And I came into that lane with protection plus
there's no clips of that. That's not true.
Oh, was this the duel? The duel match?
Yeah, this was the duel.
Oh,
I deleted those clips. That's not true.
He ulted and I went protection, recovery, macaroon. It was just full HP. It was amazing. I was like, this item's goated. It's the goat. And never bought it again.
Yeah.
Never bought it again.
But yeah, man, overall, I mean, we got some more like buffs on anything other than recovery, which recovery and pain. The other ones got buffs, but I think overall, like me personally, I like the patch. You guys know I play ADC, and I think it's much needed. I hate not having a tank in the solo lane because as an ADC, as a backliner, you want your frontliner to take the damage. So I like that change. I've said it for months now that early game damage on the Rangers are too strong and needs to be toned down, which they did. So for me, overall,
do you think the Spirit's armor change is worth it or no?
That's another one.
Negligible.
Yeah, so they keep nerfing that one. For me, the main thing on that item is it's good stats. You're getting power, you're getting attack speed. There's not a lot of great attack speed items, but the passive you just can peel for yourself. Yeah, that's the main thing for me.
I would like to see them just remove the tenacity and movement speed off the item, and I'd be fine with it, to be honest. And I know people like I'm about to get some hate mail in the Discord after this. Just remove the movement speed and the tenacity from it, and whatever. Like, it's been in the game for so long at this point, people know how to play into it, and a part of playing into that item is just knowing when to catch a disengage. Oh, somebody's S-king you with Wind Spirit. I'm no longer fighting you. I'm going to dash the other direction. Don't waste your time. A lot of this game isn't just like locking down, people in fights. It's also catching people in a rotation. And that's one thing that you're going to be able to do if you have far-ranging CC, if you have far-ranging poke damage. It's annoying, yes. However, with the changes that they've made to carries, what also made it super annoying, and I think Wolfie can attest to this, is like, I'm in solo lane with my Kwang Asian Zeus about to pop off. Is Drongo building in a Wind Spirit first item?
Yeah, it's the issue is that there's no penalty, right? So it's kind of tricky, especially with Drongo's unique case with this with this perk that he gets when he procs uranium rounds. Yeah. It's a bit hard to lock down, right? So there's no penalty. He's got that, and now he's got Spirit's armor, first item. So it's like I have 3 things working against me. Can I build slows to counteract him? No, it's nothing. And so it's just like, you got to take something away. You put it like, give me something here. Take away Spirit's armor. Give him a penalty first. Because I can't tell you, I fight these ADCs in the solo lane. I'll kill them 2 or 3 times. I won't get their tower. I want to eat them and send a message, get off my fucking lane. But the idea, once they get that Spirit's armor, I'm the second I can disengage, I'm out. I can't catch you.
Yeah.
I can't, and there's no amount of slows I can buy.
And they can catch up with you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course they're gonna run you down.
Of course they can.
And if you're a character without a dash, then you're like, well, I'm kind of screwed. Like I'm fucked here. Like, what do I do?
Yeah. So I definitely think it was a pain. This whole BS. I'm okay with you taking away the penalty with the passive. That's fine. But give me a penalty before. Like there is none right now. So give me a penalty and let them buy the item to counteract it. At least like add some kind of brain or thinking process to it. You buy Spirit's Armor just so that you feel like you're like a little toddler. Like I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And meanwhile,
I'm not in your rep. I'm not in your bro.
Yeah. God. So I definitely would like to see either add a penalty or take away that movement speed passive, something. But with the 4 that they changed now, hopefully, it won't be a big deal. We'll see. We need more time with the patch to see. But first day, I saw minimal ADCs in the solo, so I think that could be like that new patch kind of thing where like, oh, they're dead now, no more ADCs, and don't touch it, We'll see after like 4 or 5, especially when like Ego starts doing competitive stuff. We'll get to see how true the patch is because those top players, they find the smallest statistic and then they just milk it and it just they just milk the hell out of it to turn it into something that it was never meant to be. So
yeah, and I also feel like it's not only the itemization that can be changed, but also some of the mechanics in the game could help contribute to things not being good. And I will lie, I saw this in the comments, and I feel like it is a really good thing that should be pointed out. This item becomes a bit more manageable if they also take away bunny hopping. If they take away bunny hopping while auto attacking, that's a fix. That's a fix that makes it significantly, not significantly, but it makes it marginally better for an overall experience, especially, for people like Wolfie who play solo, as so says in the book of Diffining. But overall, I do like broad stroke, because I have some hot takes with this, and I know it's episode 0, but I came
we're going pretty long.
I came to episode 1 with the smoke. I'm truly feeling the chimney. What is your guys' overall thoughts on the patch as a whole?
I think
I'll let you go first, Cordy.
I think it was good. I like that. Again, I like that. I play ADC, and I like that they nerfed early ADCs and trying to address the solo issue.
I'd say cosmetically, map looks great, skins look great. Great job on that. Nerfing ADCs, it's a start. I would have liked to have seen a penalty. The floor change is nice. Again, we need some more time, but penalties might be needed. It might be needed. We'll find out. Like I said, we'll let the higher tier players get their hands on it, and we'll see how true the patch is. I have a couple things. Like, I don't know why we're wasting time on Aurora still.
Dude, that was a violation for no reason.
I don't understand. Like, you spent, out of the patch notes that come out of this game, she's been on 90% of them, whether they're buffing or nerfing or changing her title from caster to tank. I don't know why we're still touching Aurora. I feel like we're wasting all that time on that. Crunch doesn't need a buff.
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Why they're touching him.
It's so
I don't know why they buffed him.
So I mean, apart from cosmetically, it was great. ADCs is a good start. It's a good start to nerfing them. But again, like those weird little things, like we're touching Aurora and stuff like that. That's where I think we could do somewhere else. So.
All right. So overall, I think this was a good patch, and for me, it's not the perfect patch. But for me personally, this is very close to a perfect patch. There's a lot of changes. It directly addressed stuff that the community was talking about. And for people who felt like it didn't address it hard enough, I need you to get over it a little bit. Like if they come through and on these patches, they make sweeping changes that just make some characters unplayable, make some karmas unusable, and it completely soft resets any progression that people have had. That's not only feels bad for people individually who have been playing. Like if they just come in and they make like Drongo just an unplayable character until match 32, there are people who have logged dozens, if not hundreds of hours on these characters who are just not going to be able to play them and get that same level of like fun and fulfillment that they normally would in like previous iterations of the character. So I like them sitting down at the table and at least addressing that they do see, the problems that are going to be presented here. They're like, all right, pain's an issue. We're going to change that a little bit. Movement speed on carries is an issue. We're going to change that. Their scaling is an issue. We're going to change that a little bit. Going through and one by one and changing things to a degree where, yes, in some instances, it's marginal. But this is a strategic game with literally at this point dozens of characters, and them coming through and putting the meat in the mashed potatoes and just clean it off the Thanksgiving table isn't actually going to make the game better. Them recognizing these things, changing it, watching for a little bit, and then changing it more and more is going to be what does make the game better. And we've seen before, Cordy Wolfie, that they can make sweeping changes. Grim, now, Morgash, like they can, if they think something is very far out of line, they can come through and tweak them to a point to where it now falls a little bit more into the expectation. And off of one patch, it's not going to be perfect, but gentlemen, guys, hand them the spatula, let them cook, because overall, this patch is spicy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put out more patches than some AAA companies.
100%.
But I do like them going.
Too.
I do like them again going to that one patch a month, just giving it time to marinate. That's one of the
it is
big
a good idea. I definitely
decisions.
think it's a good idea to get more feedback for that. Yeah.
But yeah, they touched Soul Lane, they touched Pain, they touched ADC's early game, they touched what was there's something else that I was, as far as like items go, that I had in mind. Oh, crit. Like we went over crit a little bit, but like they touched crit up as well. So the early game damage, your crit early game is impacted by your base damage early game and your levels. So like late game ADCs are going to be where they're at last patch, but they also, so early game crit damage is going to be nerfed, as well as getting 10% more crit reduction. I don't know if we're going to see crit anymore. I was trying to play other builds, but we don't have a lot of items, so I couldn't really find a good build to go into that did not involve crit.
I saw ADCs rushing attack speed. Like it was weird. I'm seeing a lot of crossbows, a lot of merchants.
Yeah. I missed around
spirits armor like natural.
I got like a 5 builds item, but that last item was like, what do I go into? I go into like, what's that one like auto attack range slows, but it's like it's a warrior item. Yeah. I was like, do I go dual moon? It has attack speed and power, and it slows. Like I couldn't really think of a good 6th item to slot into that build without having to go into crit, but we'll see. We'll see definitely when the better players are playing the game and how they're building that role.
I'm sure they'll find something.
But
is there any other topics?
No, I think that was it, man. I think that was.
Was that our episode 0/1?
I think
that was That was a long one. I was like, man, we'll go like an hour 30. We spent an hour of like
anime gets you.
Anime,
dude, sniped. It's gonna be like that every week. Like you guys are gonna like bring up Metal Gear one week and it's gonna be over.
I need to watch secretly Heaven's Lost Property.
Brother,
secretly,
please.
I got
to come back and cook me.
That's your first. I got to
do it.
And then the Fairy Tale. I wrote these down. Fairy Tale, and then Soul Eater. I never watched Soul Eater, so I was looking for other animes to watch because I finished. Like I said, I'm about to finish My Hero Academia. Finish Demon Slayer, and so I was gonna start Jujutsu, but
we'll get you there. We'll catch you up.
We might go into these other animes.
My portal. Yeah, so definitely. If anything, out of all the ones you just listed, please watch Soul Eater first.
I'd say that too. That's a good starting point too.
Should I, or the other ones like?
That's probably the better one.
How many episodes of Soul Eater? Because that's what I can't do. I tried.
Only like 60, I think.
I'm never doing One Piece ever.
You should. You shouldn't. It's mid. We're canceled. It's over.
Mid?
I said it.
It's gone. We're gone.
Oh my god, it's over. Yeah,
we gotta come up with a new name. Did we trademark this one?
But yeah, super fun episode, guys. Everyone that is here, that is showing up late, I will have this on my YouTube channel. I'll try to get it out there tomorrow morning for everyone that's on YouTube. This is gonna be a weekly thing on Fridays. Friday morning, we should have the podcast. So that'll be it for the podcast. We'll catch you guys Thursday. So live Thursday, twitch.tv/Cordy. At 6 Central, 7 Eastern, or if you guys want to stay on YouTube, it'll be there Friday morning. I'll work on that and getting that to tonight. But,
all right.
Oh yeah.
That is it for the podcast. Guys. See you guys next week.
Watching. Stay overpowered. I had to say it, guys. Don't hit me.
God.
Oh god. It's